Hi guys, Daniel here again. Last Friday I relapsed after an 83 days long hard mode Nofap streak. In this video I'm going to discuss how it was to watch porn again. I will talk about the experienced effects of my relapse, and I'm going to share the things that led to my relapse. The initial shame and urge to hide from the world disappeared quickly. I needed to realize that this channel is not about me. These videos discuss the things that happen to me, but I'm not the object of this channel. It doesn't serve me, but those people, you guys, who want to defeat this addiction. So my shame or guilt or, the fear of the opinion of others, like what people might think of me sharing these things on YouTube, just don't matter. I truly believe it's very important to share details of my relapse and help others to learn from my mistakes. I could act like there are no relapses and that I'm not struggling at all, but the thing is that I'm trying to defeat this addiction for like 7 years, and I relapsed many times, hundreds of times, maybe even thousands. And relapses make very clear that we are talking about an addiction and not just a bad habit, If it was just a bad habit, I already could have quit. But the thing is that it's an addiction for me, a very strong dependency, and it's not without struggles. And I know that for the most of you guys, it's not without struggles either. Don't get discouraged if you relapse. Relapse belongs to recovery, but don't use it as an excuse. Despite the fact that I lost my sobriety of 83 days, I was able to live for such a long period of time. For me, it's long. For such a long period of time without orgasms at all. So the first question is, how did it feel to watch pornography after such a long time again? It felt really strange. I felt like I was once more part of the subculture that is driven by sexual desires, fueled only by the urge to find sexual gratification. I felt isolation and strong anxiety. During my binge, I did my searches just like before. I browsed the websites and forums I used to visit frequently. And all the while, I was thinking like, what the fuck is going on here? Why am I not able to stop? I felt this huge emptiness, like a black hole, dragging me completely inside. While I was clicking all over the place, I was thinking like, why don't I have control over what I'm doing here? I felt incredibly alone, as if I was completely detached from the world. And these feelings, loneliness, isolation and desolation, were a lot less prominent during the past few sober months. There is one benefit of my relapse, and that is that the tension that accumulated in me during the last 80 days decreased and is neutralized again. It feels more comfortable, that I don't feel tense and I don't feel that anxiety, that I'm numbed. But the thing is that I'm totally convinced that if I want to recover, if I want to experience myself as I was meant to be, I have to go through these things and I have to just feel those feelings, those emotions. The second thing I would like to talk about is the effects I experienced as a result of my relapse. I became much more irritable. My physical coordination is almost non-existent. I drop things, bump into the furniture. I'm just much more clumsy. There's an enormous chaos in my head, and I'm much more impulsive again. It's much harder to concentrate and to do things with attention. The threshold for watching porn again is much lower. The sixth is that I have powerful flashbacks. Flashbacks are memory images from porn movies that may induce cravings. I randomly recall images from videos I didn't even click on. Thumbnails and things like that I saw for a fraction of a second. These are pictures or images I didn't consider important or exciting at the moment when I was seeing them. But the thing is that now, as they come to my mind again, I feel like I fucking know this is exactly the video I was looking for during the whole fucking binge. And I missed out on that one. And I have to go back. I must know what is in it. I have to go back, man. I must know what happens in it. And this feeling is unbelievably powerful. Even though that I know precisely that I won't find anything there. I've been through this so many times. I always, and literally always, felt disappointed after watching them. And at the end I only sunk lower and lower into shamefulness and guilt again. The most painful effect of my relapse is that the mental and spiritual development I was going through during the last sober months just stopped. It just broke. It may sound strange, but I felt that I was getting closer to a certain spiritual event, some kind of breakthrough. I often dreamed about past situations, old friends, schoolmates I haven't seen for a while. Many memories I didn't even know about resurfaced. It was as if my identity was starting to reach fulfillment, becoming a more nuanced and complex whole, something more complete than before. I felt much more as a part of this world. So what led to relapsing and what steps did I miss? A few weeks ago I got a new job and it completely knocked me out of balance. For example, because I have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm just not used to that anymore, man. The first 2 weeks at this job, the 2 weeks before my relapse, drained all my energy. I was extremely tired, which drastically decreased my resistance and will to act. Don't get me wrong, I didn't relapse because I have a new job, but it certainly had an indirect influence that led to my relapse. The real reason for my relapse is that I ignored the tools that helped me stay clean before. One thing that's very dangerous for me is aimlessly browsing the internet. Actually, I didn't browse too often during the last weeks. I just looked up a few things. I have some rules regarding internet use, and looking up a few things is definitely blacklisted, because I never know what I'm going to find, what I'm going to bump into. Browsing is kind of the same thing for me as Russian roulette. You know the game, the Russian roulette? It's like only one bullet in the gun, and you don't know if you are going to get the bullet. That's a pretty cool game. With aimless browsing, it's the same thing for me. I never know what's in the gun, what images I might stumble upon, celebrities, names, news, videos, or whatever else that could act as a trigger. YouTube is definitely the Valhalla of this kind of Russian roulette. Many times on YouTube I've seen thumbnails that trigger me and increase the longing for pornography. It's no accident that pointless browsing and YouTube are on my blacklist. The one thing that helps me most in maintaining the safety rules I created for myself is sharing it with someone. And it doesn't really matter who it is. It can be a fellow, like a fellow from the 12 steps meetings, or your spouse, girlfriend, friend, brother, sister, mother, father, whatever, whoever, your neighbor. For me, sharing feels like making it definitive. Another very important thing, I stopped caring for myself. This means that I didn't bother with the things that make me happy or stabilize me and give meaning to my life. This includes the following. Making music. Another thing is working out ideas related to this channel. And perhaps the most important thing I didn't do is my morning routine. This is a half-hour long ritual built around different affirmations I formulated and developed during the last year. And the last thing I didn't do is that I didn't share the triggers that affected me. Sharing the triggers is a very important tool for the 12-step group I attend. If we are affected by a trigger, we immediately share it with each other via phone, message, email, WhatsApp, or any other way. We call this setting the trigger into the light. It is based on the idea that as long as we don't share the trigger or urge, we are leaving it in the shadows, in the darkness, letting it grow, which ultimately leads to a relapse. By sharing it with someone, we shed light on it and prevent it from growing further in the darkness. It loses its power. The members of the program can share anything, really anything, that may be a trigger for them. A flashback, a poster, or a girl on the street, an ad, whatever. And this is exactly the thing, like putting triggers into the light, that I'm practicing like fanatically, you know? But I became very lazy during the past few weeks, mainly because of my new job. All in all, I can say that I neglected the relationship with myself and with others, and this progressively increased the urge within me to reduce the feeling of loneliness, to repress it with some kind of euphoric experience. Using porn was the most obvious choice for me, considering that I've used it for more than 20 years to reduce uncomfortable feelings that are part of life. It was very scary and enlightening at the same time to experience this loneliness and insanity, I could say, after the last 3 sober months. After this overwhelming ecstasy, I was overcome with an equally powerful emptiness, a pervasive feeling of worthlessness and meaninglessness. I'm saddened by the fact that it happened and that I had to reset the counter. But at the same time, I feel an even stronger desire to finally experience true sobriety. I don't feel hopeless, rather strong and ready to continue this journey. Guys, I'm honestly interested in your experiences concerning relapses. So don't hesitate if you'd like to share anything with me and with us. Feel free to leave a comment below or even click on the subscribe button. And the 90-day Nofap journal will be here just a bit later. I see you guys.